cannot love right with a broken heart. You can't smile right with a broken heart. You can't treat your neighbor right with a broken heart. That's the problem with some of us. We've learned to cope with life while dealing with a broken heart. We've never done the necessary work needed to heal from the broken heart that we've had. But God sent me by way of 301 to assist you in the area of your brokenness. Were you aware that the first organ system to develop within the first birthing trimester is the cardiovascular system of the body? Y'all don't mind if I get a little deep today, is that all right? This system is comprised of mainly the heart, the blood, and its blood vessels. Of course, at this time, the central nervous system is developed along with the spinal cord and the brain. But this incredible internal organ and muscle called the heart, the size of two hands clasped together, is now established at this point with 4 chambers: the left atrium and the right atrium, which are comprised as the upper chamber, and the left ventricle and the right ventricle, which are the lower chambers. Somebody say, talk, Rogers. I believe I will. This human heart will beat around 110 times a minute by the end of the 5th week of its conception. All that sounds good, my sole focus today will be on the heart and its function as it relates to the body and to the soul. Brothers and sisters, the heart is one of the most amazing features of your body. It pumps blood through 60,000 miles of blood vessels. It beats 100,000 times a day. Each minute, your heart pumps 1.5 gallons of blood. Did you know that? That's awesome, isn't it? A woman's average heart, I mean, you know, you saw when the doctor saying, go ahead, Rogers. All right, thank you, Dr. An average heartbeat is fast. A woman's average heartbeat is faster than a man's heartbeat by almost 8 beats a minute. That's why she loves you so hard, because her heart is beating faster than yours is, brothers. You got to be careful. In my research, I found, and Dr. Wooten, you can help me, my brother, on this, that the right atrium receives oxygen-poor blood from the body and pumps it into the right ventricle. Okay, and the right ventricle in return pumps the oxygen-poor blood into the lungs. Then the left atrium receives oxygen-rich blood from the lungs and pumps it into the left ventricle. What are you saying, Rogers? Well, let me break it down a little more. If you can think of your heart as one great big team, the chambers work with each other as a part of your heart, like valves and arteries, to keep your heart pumping. But listen, even the best team is only as strong as its players. Each player brings unique skill to support the shared goal. Your heart's chambers are really the MVPs. They do the vital work that allows your heart to refresh and recirculate blood throughout your body each and every minute of each and every day. Your right atrium kicks off the action by allowing and taking the deoxygenated blood from your body. Blood enters into 2 large veins called your superior vena cava and your inferior vena cava. Your right atrium takes this, I'm going somewhere, y'all just stick with me, I promise you. You say, well, what does this have to do with all of, I'm going somewhere. Tap your neighbor and say, y'all ain't coming to church on Sunday anyway, so y'all might as well celebrate. All right, amen. I thought I was going to get a better response than that. Listen, blood from your right atrium passes through the tricuspid valve into your right ventricle. Your right ventricle quickly goes into action by pumping this blood through your pulmonary valve into your pulmonary arteries and out of your lungs. In your lungs, your blood receives oxygen it needs to nourish the body. Somebody say it's got to be teamwork. These GCM scholars, they don't know it yet, but when you get to college, you're going to have to be a part of a big team. You can't do it all by yourself. And that's the problem with some of you right now. You have allowed that ego to take over you, but you got to humble yourself a little bit. Look at your neighbor and say, humble yourself a little bit and allow God to take you to the next level. Once your left atrium is in the oxygenated blood, almost ready to travel around your body, you can think of both atria as reservoirs. While your right atrium holds oxygen-poor blood and your left atrium holds oxygen-rich blood, your left atrium then sends this blood through the mitral valve in your left ventricle. I'm done. The last stop in this heart chamber is when your left ventricle actively pumps the blood through your aortic valve, and it can travel throughout your whole body. So you can think of your left ventricle as the final player that scores the winning goal. But there's only 1 second before all of that starts all over again. Can you imagine the complexity that God placed inside of just your heart alone? All of that is happening every single second in your body.